सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिनि व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगेन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। यत्साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दप्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्नमामि रसस्य योगिगम्यं परं पदम् आनिलाग्न्यब्धिरित्रन्तं सर्पणिमोद्गतं यतः ध्वान्तच्छिदिनमस्तस्मै हरये बुद्धिसाक्षिणे Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We have to look at the Tippana. The this was 23rd. So Noshnimanam Dahatyagnihi Swarupadvad Yatha Jwalan Tathaivatmatmano Vidyad Aham Naiva Visheshataha. Just like the Agni does not know its Ushnimana heat. Why? Because it's very Swarupa. What kind of Agni? Jwalan Agni. In fact, there is no other Agni, Jwalan Agni only. Tathaiva Atma. So, Atma similarly, Atmanaha aham na vidyat, avisheshata. Because avisheshata means swarupatvat eva. That is the idea. In the Tika, we had seen Jwalane apiti shesha. Even while burning, it cannot burn the heat. Avisheshata iti, there we had seen swarupatva avisheshat औष्णस्य दहनदाह अविशेष अवयवात् स्वरूपत्वे धर्मत्वे च अहमादेः आत्मव्यापार विषयत्वं न स्यात् इत्यर्थः. So स्वरूपत्व अविशेषात् तस्य. So here you look at it. अविशेषतः in the मूला श्लोका means स्वरूपत्व अविशेषात्. स्वरूपत्वादेव. अविशेषात् means what? स्वरूप. You cannot differentiate between heat and fire. It is the very nature of it. Therefore, Swarupatvad. So, Swarupatva avisheshat, meaning there is no Vishesha that you can see in heat and Agni separately. Therefore, Swarupatva avisheshat, Aushnasya dahanadaha avishesha avayavat. Here there was a Tippana. I will go to the Tippana because as it is, this Vakya does not make much sense to us. Swarupatve dharmatve. Swarupatve means what? Dharmatve. It's very, rather dharma also you said is Swarupa. Very Swarupa. Swarupatve dharmatve cha ahamadehe. Meaning if you see Swarupa and Dharma, Swarupa having Dharma, that is not the case. Ahamadehe atma vyapara vishayatvam na syadityartha. While being Swarupa, it cannot be Dharma. If it is Dharma, it cannot be Swarupa. So, ahamadehe atma vyapara vishayatvam na syad. When the Dharma is Swarupa itself, then atma vyapara vishaya, atma being Swarupa, its vyapara vishaya would be Dharma. That would never be because Dharma is Swarupa. Meaning, karma can never be a karta. On this, there are 2 and 3 tippana. What do they say? Atra kachana trutihi. So Tippanakara says there is some mistake in the Tika, not by the Karta, maybe by while copying, maybe it was not preserved right, and then there is some truti or whatever the way it was told and it was written, there was some issue. So atra kachana truti. What is that? Chandrikayam evam pathyate. Yatha jwalanapi agnihi swarupa bhutam dharma bhutam va ushnimanam na dahati na vishayi karoti. Vishayi karoti is a single word. So tatha, so yatha tatha then. So tadvat. See, jwalanapi agni. Even while burning, Meaning, why Jwalan is added? Because you may think, somebody may think that if the Agni is there, but it is not burning very well, then it cannot burn a large Vishaya, larger than it. So if you put a log of tree in a small flame of fire, it will not burn. In fact, the log of Agni, so log of tree that you put on the fire, it will extinguish the fire. So there may be such thinking that because Agni may not be stronger, that is why it is not burning the heat. That is not the case. So Jvalanapi Agni, even very well burning Agni, Swarupa Bhutam Dharma Bhutam. So that dharma that you see, which is that Ushnimanam. So Swarupa Bhutam Dharma Bhutam Va. Whether you think it is own Swarupa or it is a dharma separate from it, still that thinking won't hold good because it does not burn. Na dahati, na vishayi karoti. Meaning it will never become karma vishaya of Agni, which is the karta of Jwalan, Jwalan karta. So why Swarupatva Dharmattvadva? For us, Swarupa and Dharma are not different. You can call it Dharma, we don't mind. Because Satchidananda is Dharma. It is not Guna. So Dharma Dharmi Bheda may be for the Tarkika. We don't have Dharma Dharmi Bheda. Dharma is Dharmi only. For Vyavahara, we use different terms, that's all, but it is the very Swarupa only. When you say Dharma, it is Swarupa only. So whether you say Swarupatva, Dharmattvadva, Tadvat. Similarly, in the exemplified Atma api Atmanah Swarupa Bhutam Dharma Bhutam Va Ahankaradikam na vidyat. So Ahankara is not separate. Ahankara is not separate. Here, I find a truti here. Aham is mentioned. Ahankaradi. Ahankara, Atma knows Ahankara. So I will take it with a pinch of salt here. In Chandrika it is mentioned. So Ahankaradikam na vidyat Atma api. So you have to say Ahankara with Tadatmya if it is the case. It is not true. Ahankara is known. So Aham I won't take as Ahankaradi. Aham is Swarupa only there. Because Ahankara is Anatma. So, I mean, I have not seen the Chandrika. It is quoted by the Tippanakara here. But the very idea, it goes against the Moola. If you look at it, there was a question regarding this. Let me go through that question also in this case. Basically, what? Karta and Karma are separate. Karta cannot know oneself as Karma. That is the idea. That's all you hold on to. Everything else is in the words. It is if it is not clear. So let's go back to the example because what was seen as a second interpretation of the Chaturvihi Uhyate. So here, Yadva, in this 20th verse, there was a question regarding this after the Patha. So Yadva Swabhavata Shushuptadau Ashakya Udvaha Deha Jagrite Ahandi Matrena Sukha Udvahitam Apadya Manaha. So there Shipikadivat, there was a question again. See, this Ahandi Matrena, this Ahandi is Ahankara. If with the Sharira you have Tadatmya, that I am this Sharira, there is an Ahankaradi, everything else. Without which in Shushupti you don't have this. Shushupti Adu, Shushupti in coma, in Shushupti, and we can take Mrityu also there really. But Mrityu is not needed because Deha is mentioned. So as long as Deha is there even after Mrityu, Shushupti, coma, ityadi, there Deha, that Deha is Ashakya Udvaha. One cannot carry on one's own. An individual cannot carry it. You need 4 people. But in Jagrid Avastha, when there is Ahankara, Tadatmya Sambandha, then it is very easy to carry. This is what you have seen, the interpretation of the verse. But where does the Shibika Adivat come in? So here, this is, here put a comma here, as I said. Shibika Adivat Swa Udvahakam Ahankartaram Avagamayati Ityartha. So there are 2 ways to read it. I explained one way, easy way. With swa you take. See, swa udvahaka carrying. So swapadena deha you take. It is easier. This is the way I explained. Swapadena deha, not swa means atma. So swa udvahaka. So there shashti. Udvahaka carrier of swa. Swa cannot carrier of atma. Otherwise, you have to make karma dharya saying that swa atma is udvahaka. Then this aham kartara won't work. Therefore, we have to take, so not two meanings really, only one way to interpret it is what? Swadeha udvahaka is what? Ahankarta. That sambandha with the sharira is what? Is helping you carry in the earlier part of the sentence there. So now shibikadivat. Shibikadivat. So the swa udvakam aham kartaram avagamayati, the one that carries the, in the example, okay, shibika, the one who carries. So here in the example, what is it? Swa would be shibika. Shibika. So shibika divat there, shibika, the palanquin. So udvaka. The carrier of the palanquin is aham. Aham karta. Vyakarana karta. And palanquin is what? Vyakarana karma, vishaya. So when you say that the carrier of the palanquin, is it the palanquin itself? No. So when you say carrier of the palanquin is karma there. It is karmani shashti, not sambandhe. Karmani shashti. So one who carries that aham karta is separate from the swa. Udvaka is aham karta, carrier, karta. But swa, the shibika, palanquin, is separate. So the carrier of the palanquin is shown as separate from that palanquin. So the karma itself shows that the karta is different. Similarly here, the deha in the exemplified, the deha which is being carried by ahandi matra. So the aham is carrying the sharira. So that sharira being carried easily or with difficulty in Sushuptadi, easily with the Jagrita Avastha Tadatmya Sambandha, shows that the karma itself shows that the karta is different. Yes.
I know it's what do you mean by tadatma? You
Sorry?
use it quite a bit, huh?
What is the question? Come again.
What is it you mean by tadatma? You use quite a bit.
I have explained it many times. Tadatmya is a very common word in Vedanta. You need a lot of background. If not, please study. Tadatmya is a word which will be used again and again. Saha atma yasya. Tadatmya is identification. Sambandha with identification that it is me. That identification. Saha atma yasya. Tadatma. Then tasya bhavaha tadatmyam. Identification as me. That is tadatmya.
Okay.
Okay. So tadatmya is sambandha. Tadatmya is called a sambandha. Identification is a sambandha. Sambandha is always between two. So tadatmya also shows that there is a difference between the two. Although there is a difference, identification is possible only when there is a difference there as me. So known as me, it is not me, but known as me. So it is called as adhyasika tadatmya sambandha. Sambandha is superimposed. It is not really there. You are projecting. So that is the idea here. So here, the karma, yeah. Is there any other question? So the karma itself shows karta as separate. Karma and karta cannot be one. So that will be explained further. So thereby here also it is the same idea. What we saw as dahana daha avishesha avayavat swarupatve dharmatve cha ahamadehe. Here atma vyapara vishayatvam na syad ityartha. If you say ahankaradi, here, if you say in the Tippana, if you read the Chandrika as it is, then ahankaradi becoming Atma When it's a tadatmya sambandha, you cannot know. But for a viveki, it can be known. So you can take it as a purva paksha, as in for an ajnani, it cannot be known. If at all you have to read that and validate that patha, you have to say it cannot be known as separate when there is a tadatmya sambandha. When one does viveka, then it can be known, if it is taken as ahankara. But here the sandarbha is not of ahankara as not being known. What is the question? Purva Pakshi says that just like the Stula and Sukshma Sharira is known as an object, right? It is known. First of all, it is known. Purva Paksha is this Stula and Sukshma Sharira is known, therefore you say it is Anatma. Then Atma is also known by Aham Pratyaya, right? So Siddhanti says that Aham Pratyaya, that you know, Atma is a subject. Therefore, Karmatvena, do you know Aham as a karma? You don't. So here, if you in that sequence, you have to say that Aham is not Atma. Aham Pratyatmane, if you know as an object, that as an object, it is Ahankara is Anatma. Vidyatadatmya, you cannot know. But real Aham, which is the question, Pratyagatma, it is not Ahankara. Siddhant, because Ahankara is part of Sukshma Sharira. We have already said it is Anatma. So this Sandarbha is Pratyagatma is also known as Aham. Siddhanti says Pratyagatma known as Aham is not that Pratyagatma, it is Ahankara. So as an object, you cannot know yourself. So that is the context made and answered now. And thereby further, so the 23rd verse is over. Now, Idanim Bhattamatam Ashankya Nirakaroti. So, Prabhakara Bhatta Anuyayi Mata Purvamamsaka. So, there are two major divisions in Purvamamsakas. One is the Prabhakara Mata, the other is Kumarla Bhatta Mata. So, this is not Prabhakara Mata, sorry, this is Bhatta Mata. Bhatta Mata means Kumarla Bhatta Mata. This Prabhakara Mata, Prabhakara was a Shishya of Kumarla Bhatta. Prabhakara Mishra was a Shishya of Kumarla Bhatta. Also, Prabhakara Mata is also called as Guru Mata. The Guru name was given by the Guru Kumarla Bhatta himself. There is some story there. So, Bhatta Matam Ashankya, which is the main mata in for a Siddhanti, Vedanti, we agree with. In Vyavahara, we agree with Bhatta Mata, Kumarla Bhatta Mata. So what is that? Idanim Bhattamatam Ashankya Nirakaroti. What was the third tippana? Okay, Ahankara Mamakara Dehe iti bhava. So Ahankara Mamakara also there. Here Aham Adi means Aham and Mama iti bhava. So here you can take Swarupatve Dharmatve cha Aham Adehe. So Aham Mama. So other way you can look at it here is Aham Adehe Atma Vyapara Vishayatvam Nasyat. But if you other way also you can see, meaning just I'm not going to explain it in words how you can see, but you can say aham mama. This atma cannot become aham or mama vishaya, meaning it can never be really ahankara vishaya or mamatva also there with that mamatva sambandha, not other way around. What we say is that my antakarana you can say, but you cannot say antakarana's atma. When you say mama atma, for example, when you say mama atma, that will not hold good. Atma mukhyartha, you cannot say mama atma, that is raho shiravat sashti. Atma is aham. Aham means mukhya aham. Not this purana in the antakarana as with aham vritti. So that other way around it will never be. I can say aham ahankaradi dehaha with the tadatmya sambandha, but dehadi cannot have atma as vishaya. With tadatmya sambandha, it cannot become videya. And I can also say that mama antakarana, mama ahankara, mama deha, with the mukhya atma's object. Ahankaradi becoming object of mukhya atma. But other way around, there can never be atma as the vishaya of mama with sambandha. That deha's atma, antakarana's atma, that kind of sambandha can never be. So that is another idea you can look at here. reading between the lines or splitting it in a different way, understanding this aham adehe atma vyapara vishayatva in a different way, loosely. So here, so that is it, 23rd verse. Idanim bhattamatamāshanke nirakaroti ekasya ityadina. Moola. So taking Bhattamata as a Purva Paksha, he refutes it. So Moolakara, Bhagavan Vartikakara says, Ekasya Atmanaha Karma Kartrutva Bhavaha Sarvatha na upapadyate iti shrutva Mimamsakaha Pratyavatishtate. So the Kumarila Bhatta Anuyayis, they are listening to all this and they say, they object. So in a Ekavachana Mimamsaka, that Mimamsaka is objecting. Why? He has listened to this idea that Siddhanta is saying that Ekasya Atmana, this single Atma, can never be karma or karta together. You cannot say that Atma is karta as well as karma. Meaning Atma cannot be subject as well as object. One Atma. Sarvata na upapadyate. This is what Siddhanta said, iti shrutva. Having listened to this conclusive, as though a conclusive statement made by, or an axiom, like an axiom, Vedanti has uttered these words. Atma can never be subject and object both. Both the subject and object. It is untenable, not logical, illogical. If this is really so, then something else wouldn't happen. That is what Mimamsaka says. So Mimamsaka Pratyavatishtate. He says Aham Pratyaya Grahyatvat. Again, this Aham Pratyaya is a samasta pada. Aham Pratyaya Grahyatvat. Grahaka Atma. He says this Aham Pratyaya Grahyatvat. This is the idea which has come up earlier, but not directly. It has been said. In the Tika, it has been mentioned. So in the Moola, it has come up now. Aham Pratyaya Grahyatvat. Because Atma is known as Aham. Who else will know? With Aham Pratyaya, Aham knows the Atma itself. Therefore, Grahaka Atma. Atma is subject and Atma is object also. Iti. For this, there is a Tippana. Vishayasmin Sararthakara. Ekasyeva Atmanaha Aham Pratyaya Grahyatve api Mam aham janami iti pratitya grahakatvasya api sambhavat. So in Tippana he says, for example, Tarkikas say that you have Indriya and Ghata Sambandha. So Ghata is known. Now what do you say? Ayam Ghataha. This is a pot. That's the knowledge of the pot. Now do you know that you know the pot? When the pot is known, so when you say Aham Ghata, that is the knowledge of the pot. Ayam Ghata. So this is when you say this is a pot, the pot is known. You know the pot. Now do you know that you know this? Or Ayam Ghataha, then Aham Ghatam Janami. This Aham Ghatam Janami is a statement of I know the pot. When you say I know the pot, meaning I know. I know that I know the pot. That's what it means. Or it will go at infinite regress. So they divide these into two components. They say there are two different units of knowledge. One is what? Ayam Ghataha. Second is Aham Ghatam Janami. So Ayam Ghata is called as Vyavasaya. And Aham Ghatam Janami is what? Is Anuvyavasaya. Similarly, here, Anu means Anupashyat. There is another Vyavasaya. Now here, the question is, when I say here, Ekasyeva Atmanaha Aham Pratyaya Grahyatve api. When I say that when I say Aham, just Aham Janami there. Now there, Aham Kimapi Janami, Aham Mamapi Janami. Here, Ekasyeva Atmana Aham Pratyaya Grahyatve api. Even if it is Aham Pratyaya Grahya Atma, Still what? Mam aham janami. Just look it up. So mam aham janami iti pratitya. There is a pratiti that mam aham janami. I know myself. I am. Aham asmi aham bhami. Vedanti says aham asmi aham bhami. I am there, and there is a spurana as aham. What does that mean? That means that I know that I am. Not only am I there, but I know that I am there. So just the being itself, how do you know you are there? I know. So how do you know this, that when you say aham asmi, how do you know aham asmi? Because aham bhami. Therefore, in the Vedanti statement also, is it not hidden that aham grahyatva is there, but still mam aham janami iti pratitya grahakatvasya api sambhavat. So aham pratyek grahya, when you say mam aham janami, there mam is dvitiya ekvachana of asmat, and aham is karta, there is prathama ekvachana. Both are atma only. Thereby, if the atma is becoming karma, aham pratyek grahyatvena karmatvam, object, still mam aham janami iti pratitya. I know myself. Thereby what? Grahakatvasya api sambhavat. Kartrutvam api sambhavati. One can become subject also. So not only an object, one can also be subject together with mam aham janami iti pratiti. This pratyaya is there, this understanding. Therefore, tadrisha pratiti gamya jnanasya मत्कर्मकत्व मत्कर्तृकत्व रूप उभय धर्मत्वाद इति मीमांसा वार्तिक कृद्भिः भट्टपादैः आत्मनः अंशतः जडबोधात्मकत्व अभ्युपगमादित्यर्थः. So in the, now this is adhyatmika, okay, we don't agree with this adhyatmika part of Kumarila Bhatta's Mimamsaka Mata. We agree only in the loka, something is there, meaning, or in the vyavahara, we agree with karma, it's how karma has to be done, or pramana ityadi, that we agree with. But the real adhyatmika ansha of the Purvamsaka, we do not agree with. As an aside, I'll just mention this. Most of these darshanas, in the sutra level, we can make sense of it. When in the darshanika level, the darshana expanse of that, we don't agree with all of that. Most of these, sutra parts, they are in line with the Shruti. Where they are in line with the Shruti, we agree. So it is not that we agree with the darshana, we agree with the ansha which is in line with the Shruti because we agree with Shruti. Therefore, the entire Ashtanga Yoga, which is part of Yoga Darshana, we agree with because it is all Shruti. In the Sankhya part also, we agree with the some Srishti Prakriya that has been mentioned there, and Atma being Asanga, Purusha being Asanga, all of that we agree with. We don't have any issue because it is all in line with Shruti, or even not opposed to Shruti also, we may not have any issue. So with Purvamamsaka also, in the Karma Kanda, if he says Shruti says so, we agree. In some part of upasanas also, if say karma anga bhuta upasana, this is how it has to be done, we agree. But if we say this is also part of karma, atma jnana, or it is also part of upasana, there we don't agree. And then the other aspects also. So that is Purvamamsa, Sankhya, Yoga. With the Tarkikas, Nyaya Vaisheshikas, Astikas, we agree with the methodology of the Tarka. How some discussion, debate, how Anumana should be applied, what are the parts in the Anumana, not everything, but some of that. But the Paramanu being the Jagat Karana, just like Sankhya say Pradhana is Jagat Karana, there we don't agree. In the Dvaita ending, we don't agree. Therefore, all of these talk about Jnana somewhere here or there. Because karma cannot be done without jnana of karma. So Purvamamsaka talks about jnana. But he says that with karma you will have mukti. There we don't agree. With the Sankhya say that the Purusha and Prakriti both are real. There we don't agree. Prakriti, their word is pradhana. But the sambandha between them is unreal, is mithya. With that ansha, we agree. So Purusha is Asanga, we agree. Because Shruti says so. So in their case, knowing that this Purusha Prakriti and Prakriti Karya Sharira, Sambandha is Mithya, that itself is Moksha Karaka. We don't agree. That is only one Ansha. That will let you know the Twampada. Twampada Lakshartha. Not the Tatpada and Aikya. That is Mukti Karaka. Purvamamsaka says Atma is separate from the body. We agree. They don't talk about Sukshma Sharira Ityadi. We agree. With the Sukshma Sharira, etc., we don't agree with that part. They don't mention Sukshma Sharira Ityadi. We don't agree with that part. But there is something that travels in the in other lokas and as Anubhava. There we have no issues there. So those parts we agree with. But the darshana part as to how the moksha takes place, all that we do not agree. In fact, not only Astika Mata, in the Nastika Matas also, when Bauddhas talk about Vairagya Ityadi, Dhyana, we have no issues. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, in fact, in Bhagavan Bhashyakara says that Shabdata, he says that whatever is sadhu in them, unopposed to Shruti or in line with Shruti, we have no issues. It is all good. So anyway, so why I am saying this is here with the with which ansha we agree, with which ansha we don't agree, we have to do that viveka, because viveka is our bread and butter. It starts with viveka, vairagya, ityadi. So without viveka is not only atma anatma viveka. In the other darshanas also we cannot throw it completely away. We cannot throw it away completely, and we cannot accept everything as well. So whatever is in line with Shruti and Siddhanta, we agree with. This much we should know. Otherwise, say, oh, it is Purva Mimamsaka Mata, we don't care for. It is not Purva Mimamsaka Mata. Purva Mimamsaka is quoting Shruti. There we have to agree. The misinterpretation has to be corrected if at all it is there. So here he says, Mamaham Janamiti Pratitya Aham Pratyek Grahyatvapi Grahatkatwasyapi Sambhavat. Thereby, although Atma has become an object, it can become a subject also. And thereby, what do they say now? The part that you know as an object, because when you say yatra yatra karmatvam, vyapti, understanding this vyapti, yatra yatra karmatvam, tatra tatra jadatvam, and only a conscious entity can know. Therefore, yatra yatra kartrutvam, tatra tatra chetanaushatvam. You have to say that also. Chetanatvam we have to say, but chetanaushatvam we can say. So yatra yatra karmatvam, tatra tatra jada aushatvam, and yatra jada aushatvam or acetanatvam aushatvam, and yatra yatra kartrutvam, tatra tatra chetana aushatvam. So this kind of a yukti is hidden there, whereby they say mamaham janami, thereby aham pratyek grahya, thereby karmatvam and jadatvam, acetanatvam in atma, and mamaham aham janami, in that ansha, because Chetana alone can know, therefore grahakatvat, grahakattvasya api sambhava, therefore grahakatvat kartrutvam, and thereby subject. Chetanatvam, ajadatvam. So jada, ajada, both anshas are there in Atma. This is their paksha. Thereby he says that matkarmakatva, matkartrukatva, rupa. This sambhava tadrisha pratiti gamya jnanasya. So when mamaham janami, this pratiti is there, with that pratiti, if you analyze, how do I know myself? I cannot know myself if I am not Chetana, because Chetana alone has knowledge. Therefore, I am Chetana. And because I am also a known entity, knowing something, that something has to be Jada also. Therefore, mat karmakatva ansha is there, mat kartrukatva ansha is also there. I am the karta, I am the karma, or I have karma and I have karta. Both ways I'll be karma and karta both. Therefore, ubhaya dharmatvat, because I have both dharmas of karma and all karta, meaning kartrutva and karmatva. Both are there. Therefore, mimamsa vartika krudvi bhattapadehi. So he has written mimamsa vartika. Mimam Sutra Vartika. There he says, Atmana Anshata Jada Bodha Atmakatva, Jada and Bodhatmakatva. Abhyupagama. So Jada and Bodhatmaka. Bodhatmaka is Ajadatva, Chetanatva. So Jada and Ajada both are put together and Atma is of both types. Now this is a Paksha. If you look at it from the Tarkika's perspective, this is an aside. If you don't understand it is okay. But because we accept some anshas of Tarka. Tarkika says Jnana is Atma Guna. And they say Jnana. It is not Dharma, meaning Vedanti says Jnana, Chaitanya is Atma Dharma, Swarupa. Tarkika says it is Jnana is Atma Guna. And they have Guna Guni no ho Samavaya Sambandha. Meaning they are different. There's a Sambandha between Guna and Guni. So Guni Atma is different from Guna Jnana. Therefore, Jnana will come and go. If it comes and goes, because Guna comes and goes, Agantuka, Jnana comes and goes. So, what comes and goes is not you, right? So, if Jnana, Chetana comes and goes, what will be Atma? Atma will be Jada. If Chetana comes and goes, you cannot be Chetana, so you will be Jada. Tarkika says he has no issues with that. So Tarka Darshana leads with Atma Jadatvam. And Mimamsa ka Bhattamata, at least Anshena they say Chetana. So Chetana, Achetana, both Anshas are there. Or some Tarkika may say Chetana, or sometimes Chetana, sometimes Achetana. So Chetana, Chetana, both Anshas are there. That is also one Paksha possible in Tarka, Muktavali Ityadi levels. So anyway, so this is the Purva Paksha. What is the Purva Paksha? Mam. So coming back to the exact Sandarbha, if you don't get the other things, it's okay. The Purva Paksha has to be understood. What is the Purva Paksha? Mam aham janami. Therefore, mam is aham in second case object case, and aham is in first case karta, subject. So Atma has become subject and object both together. Therefore, Atma can be known by itself. This is the पूर्व पक्ष सो इदानीं भाट्टमतमाशंके निराकरोति एकस्य इत्यनेन एकस्य आत्मनः कर्मकर्तृत्वभावः सर्वथा न उपपद्यते इति श्रुत्वा मीमांसकः प्रत्यवतिष्ठते ही सेज अहम प्रत्यग्राह्यत्वात् ग्राहक आत्मा इति एंड द टिप्पणी एक्सपांड्स दिस ग्राहक ग्राह्य सो ग्राह्यत्वात् अहम प्रत्यग्राह्यत्वात् ग्राहक आत्मा सो हियर वेयर इज इट सेड that it is karma and karta both. So you see aham pratyaggrahyatvat, grahya means karma, object. And being an object, see, you cannot say the hetu will never work. See, ghata being known, ghata is karta, you cannot say. Ghata being known, ghata is karta, ghata is known, therefore ghata is object. That's all you can say. But here, this aham is in samasta pada, not pratyagrahyatvat. Aham pratyagrahyatvat, known as I. Since the atma is known, therefore object, and known as I, therefore known as I, known not as I, will say known by I also. Known by I, because who else will know? I will know. Therefore, Atma being known, it is an object, and known by I, therefore Grahaka also Atma iti. Tannivrityartham aha. To refute that, Bhagavan Vartyakara gives the 24th verse. Yat karma ko hi yo bhavaha नासौ तत्कर्तृको यतः घट प्रत्येव तस्मान् हम स्याद् द्रष्टृकर्मकः यत्कर्मकः समस्तपद बहुरी यत्कर्म यस्य सः यत्कर्मकः हि यः भावः न असौ तत्कर्तृकः यतः Tatkartruka here is, we'll come back anyway. Ghata pratyevat, single word, tasmat na aham syad drashtru karmakaha. So he has used three kap pratyas here, three words with ending with ka pratyaya. Kap pratyaya. So here, so yaha bhavaha yat karmaka, meaning yaha bhavaha karma yasya, this yat karma yasya. So yaha bhava is what? yat karma ka, meaning has some yat, something as karma. So atma you take, yav bhav, atma. Let's say atma is yat karma ka. Yat karma ka means with yat you take some ghata. So घट कर्म कह ही यह भाव आत्म आत्म भाव न असौ न असौ. What is that? That भाव आत्म भाव तत्कर्तृक. तत्कर्तृक is घट कर्तृक. Meaning what? The meaning घटा here घट तत्कर्तृक. It's a little tricky. Just me one moment, because Tikakara has said absolutely nothing there. Let me see if he has made any sense. Saham. What is Saham? Saham makes no sense here. So Saham, we tipped on that. Okay. Pratyavad iti anumanamah yat karmaka iti. Okay. So anyway, he has not mentioned anything. So that which is yat karmaka. Here, because ka pratyaya is used and it is in pullinga, we have to use bahuri. With tat purusha, it would have been possible in some way. So I'm trying with bahuri here because here karma is napunsakalinga. So it has to be bahuri to make it pullinga. So yat karma means yat ghata karma ka you say. Ghata is karma for which bhava we'll say. Na asau bhavaha tat kartrukah yataha. Tat kartruka here is tat karta sah karta yasya we'll say. Sah karta yasya here. Sah karta yasya sah bhavaha tat kartrukah bhavaha atma. So meaning here I've taken an example ghata. So the ghata karma kaha bhava atma. So ghata and atma have to be separate because here you see yat karma kaha, or let's just say bhava. I'll not explain this bhava as atma. Okay, just say that x. Let's say that x and yat with will take ghata as yat. So ghata karma kaha hi yaha bhavaha x subject there. So this x entity, whatever x is, we'll come to that x, what that x is. So x is unknown now. Okay, x is unknown. Yat karma ka ghata karma ka hi yaha bhavaha x. We don't know what this is. Yat karma ka, but we know that that particular thing has subject, that x is subject. Okay, now but here that x has ghata as karma. So this bhava which has ghata as karma, x, that very bhava asau tat kartrukaha na is not the karta of that. That means what you have taken with yat, the same is tat. So ghata kartruka na. So is not karta. Here ghata you have to take pratyaya there. So na asau tat kartrukaha yataha, because it is so. Meaning what? Karta ghata itself is not the bhava. X cannot be ghata. If x has ghata as karma, then meaning ghata as object, then that x cannot be ghata. That's all it means. Okay, so ghata is not karta. Tat karta means ghata karta yasya. Ghata karma yasya and ghata karta yasya cannot be same. Meaning what? You take away ghata, karma and karta cannot be same. That's all it is. You made it a little complex samasa there. So little tricky to see why, especially as you use the word bhava there. So bhava is pratyay there. But here that is atma only here. So if atma, now you take in the exemplified yat karma ka. Yat is atma. Atma karma yasya. Yasya atmana. That atma is what? Atma karma ka atma. So that atma karma kaha atma can never be atma kartrukaha atma. Now if you say, okay, let it be atma kartruka, then if it is atma kartruka atma, then it can never be atma karma ka atma. Meaning what? Atma can either be karta or be karma. It cannot be both at all. Now it will be clarified in, so if you stick on to the words, you have to put words, substitute and try to understand here in the verse. Otherwise, arthata, if you understand in Tika, it will be elaborated further. So, ghata pratyaya vat, he said. So, ghata pratyaya is taken ghata pratyaya. So this bhava is what? Ghata pratyaya. Ghata pratyaya tasmat. Yataha means yasmat. Therefore, tasmat na aham drashtru karmaka syat. Therefore, there is no possibility. Shakyarthi ling, vidhiling. There is no possible. Na syat. It is impossible that aham is what? Drashtru karmaka. Here aham is atma. Atma can never become an object. Karma of the drashta. And Atma is the drashta. If Atma is the drashta, Aham Atma can never be karma. Never be karma. So here what is the Anvaya? Yat karma ka yaha yat karma ka hi bhavaha asau tatkartrukaha na yataha. Yataha can go at the end also, in the beginning also. So you can say with yataha yasmat यह भाव ही यत्कर्मक और यह ही भाव यत्कर्मक असौ असौ भाव तत्कर्तृक न भवति ततः तस्मात् तस्मात् व्हाट अहम द्रष्टुकर्मक न स्यात् घट प्रत्येवत न स्यात् like the ghata can never become, or you can say unlike the ghata. So both ways you can say. Unlike the ghata, which becomes karma, Atma cannot become a karma. Or you can say like the ghata, which becomes a karma but never becomes karta. So if you take ghata pratyavat in the earlier, with the earlier sentence, that is also possible. Asau ghata pratyavat tatkartrukaha na syat. Then you say vyatirekena. So you say not vyatirekena, then you say ghata pratyaya. The way ghata pratyaya is karma but never the karta. And here, thus, if you take it with the drashtu karma ka na syat, then vyatirekena. Unlike the ghata pratyaya. Ghata can become drashtu karma, but never become aham na syat. So, basically, what is the idea? Karta and karma can never be one. Like ghata. That's all. So, basic idea of the 24th verse is what? Like the ghata, which is the karma, can never become karta. Similarly, Atma, which is karta, can never become karma. Both ways. Okay? You can say vyatirekena ghatavat. So, tika there further. Why did he say yatkarmaka? So, he says saham. Saham is what here? 4. अत्रापि पाठभ्रम चंद्रिका अहम प्रत्यय आत्मकर्मको न भवति आत्मकर्तृकत्वात् घट प्रत्ययवत् इति अनुमानम आह. So much has to be read into this. In Chandrika, what aham pratyaya atmakarmaka na bhavati. This aham pratyaya which is there, it is not atmakarmaka, means atma karmayasya. This aham pratyaya is not that you see as what? Atma is being objectified. No, ahankara is being objectified there. When you say aham, I know myself, that mam aham janami, mam is not mukhya atma. Mam is with that tadatmya sambandhi, you are knowing the, because you have objectified, it is not you. Ghatavat. So here it has been said, Ghata pratyavat. Aham pratyaya atma karma ko na bhavati. Atma is not the karma in aham pratyaya. You are not objectifying the atma. Why? Atma kartrukatvad. Because atma is the subject there. Atma being the subject, atma is not the object in aham pratyaya. It has to be something other than atma. Just with this hetu, atma kartrukatvad is atma is the subject in the aham pratyaya. That much he will agree. Who else is seeing I? You are not seeing I am seeing I. So if I am seeing I, not anyone else seeing I, so Devadatta, you take Devadatta says, aham pratyaya is there, aham, mam aham janami. There the aham pratyaya of the Devadatta, who knows it? Devadatta alone knows. So it's the Mukhya Atma who is called as Devadatta there. That one who is Devadatta, not anyone else, not anything else. So aham is the karta there, atma is the karta there, then how in aham pratyaya atma will become object also in mam aham janami? Atma is not the object. So mam there, that has to be separate. What is that? So that is ahankara. Not, it can be anything ahankara adi, but not the mukhya atma. Here ghata pratyavat, like ghata pratyaya. So when ghata pratyaya, when I know iti anumanam aha. So ghata pratyaya, when there is ghata pratyaya, ayam ghataha, aham ghatam janami, there aham is the karta, atma is the karta, atma kartruka. There is atma kartruka, hetu is there. So who is the karta of in the sentence? Aham ghatam janami. Who is the karta? Aham, atma is the karta. Then can atma be ghata also? Atma cannot be ghata. So similarly here, when I say mam aham janami, there mam cannot be atma. Why? Because atma is aham there as karta. Atma cannot become karma. You cannot stand on your own shoulders. I mean, not that yogasana where you are not standing, you are just putting your legs, with all twists and putting your legs on your shoulder is not we are talking about what we are talking, standing on your shoulders, walking on your shoulders. If it is, no, still if somebody may argue, no, I am standing on my shoulders. What do you know? Because I am putting pressure there. Somebody may say, argue, no, any argument is possible there. Tarka works both ways, like the roti, which, it burns both ways, like law. So iti anumanam. So you have to say, can you walk though? You cannot walk on your shoulders. So here similarly here, that is the idea. Atma cannot become karta and karma. That is the whole idea. Meaning what? Kartru karma virodha. Kartru karma virodha. This is the nyaya. There is kartru karma virodha. So how does the Siddhanti also resolve it? So we'll see here in the 25th verse, introduction. Mamaham janami iti, no, sorry, pratyavad, there was a part of the sentence left. So what saham? Saham is what here? Saham. There is a truti there. There is nothing called as saham there. Makes no sahankar maybe. Sahankar. Saham pratyaya. So we'll say aham pratyaya. Aham pratyavad iti anumanamaha yat karmaka. So we said we'll leave that sentence because there is some truti which has been fixed in the Chandrika Patha. So in the Chandrika Patha, what? The entire Tippana we have to read, and Anumanama. What is the Anumana? Aham can never be Karta. When Aham is Karta, Atma is Karta, it never become Karma, like Ghata. That is the Iti Anumanam Aha, Yat Karma. Because Saham Pratyaya doesn't work there. So there is a Truti. Saham itself is a Truti. We don't know what it was and who scribbled it as Saham. So here you have to say the entire Pankti there, that when I am. So otherwise you have to say Saham Pratyavat, Sahabhauri, very difficult to make that. You have to make Asmat and all that. So it will not work. So we don't know what that word is. In Chandrika Patha, the Anumana has been given. That Anumana is said by Yatkarmaka hi abhava. So that's what it is. Yatkarmaka hi abhava na so tatkartruka yataha. But tatkartruka asti eva. Here in Yatkarmaka, actually swap would be good. Because in this is Atma Yatkarmaka or Yatkartruka? So we'll say, no, Yatkarmaka is all right. Yah karma yasya. So we'll say Ghata karma yasya or Atma karma yasya, Ahankara karma yasya. There this cannot be Karta also. Or see, Yah karma yasya. So you say some X is karma for something. That something is Atma. So Yatkarmaka is Karta really. See, you look at it, Karmaka is Karta and Tatkartruka is what? Karma, really. Because Yat Karmaka means what? That which has karma. That which has karma. Who has karma? Karta has karma. So here Yat Karmaka is Karta. So Karta hi Yabhava. This is how it will work. Yabhava Karta, meaning Yat Karmaka. Somebody is unmuted. Please mute yourself. I think Ashokji, I hear some background noise there. Okay, so I muted. No issues. So here, that Atma which is Karta, because it is Yat Karmaka, has some karma. Aham karma. That Aham Pratyaya, Mam Aham Janami. Mam is karma there. Meaning Aham is karma there. Hi Bhavaha Atma Karta. Na so Tatkartruka yata. Tatkartruka means Sa Karta Yasya. Sa Yat Karta Yasya Karmana. So here tat kartrukam would have been good. That's why there is a bhranti tat kartruka he had said. So we'll say that cannot be karma. So however you read it, you can make sense any which way, but the ultimate thing is what? Karta and karma cannot be one. And therefore, in the exemplified Atma, which is always karta, nobody says Atma is karma. You have to start the analysis, Atma is subject. Because I know, everywhere I is there, I is always the subject. So if I is the subject, that I can never become an object. Self is the subject, can never become an object. This is the Nyaya. Kartru karma virodhat. So here the 25th verse introduction says, Mamaham janamiti atmanaha aham pratyam prati kartrutva karmatva yoho anubhavat tatkarmatva nirakarana anumanam kalatyaya apadishtam iti shankate atraha. So the Purva Pakshi raises a doubt. He says, see, all this you are saying with some axiom that you have taken for granted. You are saying that, like Ghata example, but you look at your Anubhava. Do you or do you not have Anubhava? Here, so far, it has not been said that Aham is Ahankara. Okay, I have said it, but nowhere it has been mentioned here. Aham is Ahankara. So, Atma Aham and Mam Aham cannot be the case. That much has been said. So Purva Pakshi says, but the Anubhava is like that. I know myself is an Anubhava, right? Aham pratyam prati kartrutva karmatva anubhavat. You have an Anubhava. When you say, I know myself, who is the karta? I. Who is the karma? I alone. That is your Anubhava, isn't it? So Mamaham janami, when you say, there Atmanaha aham pratyam prati. When you say that aham pratyaya, in that aham pratyaya, mam aham janami, there is an aham pratyaya. In that aham, I cognition, what is sitting there really? What is your anubhava, you tell me? Is in that kartrutva and karmatva both aren't there? Are they not there? Both are there. So kartrutva karmatvayoha anubhavat. That is the anubhava. Therefore, tatkarmatva nirakarana anumanam. That it cannot be karma by anumana you have proven, that anumana is not working. Kalatya apadishtamiti shankate. He says it is not, in time it is not holding. So how in time we'll see in the mula there. Atraha iti. So mulakarasya atraha pratyakshena atmana karma kartrutva abhyupagame tatpada upajivina anumanena pratyaksha utsaranam ayuktam iti chodyam. This is the question there. Iti chodyam tan nirakaranaya pratyaksha upanyasa. So here this chodyam, chodana ityadi is in the meaning of vidhi mostly. Here this chodyam means this is the objection here. What is the objection? He says all your anumana that you are using is opposed to the anubhava. So kalatya is what here? When will you make an anumana? In the anumana, parvato vanniman, dhumavatvat. This is the anumana. The mountain has fire because I see smoke. Because there is smoke means what? I see smoke is your anubhava. Pratyaksha it is. Anubhava is pratyaksha there. So anubhava and pratyaksha are interchangeable words. Okay. So when I say dhumavatvat, how do you know there is dhuma? You don't need anumana there. It is pratyaksha. My anubhava is I see smoke. And what is the anumana? There has to be fire. So this anumana is long drawn. The steps vary. In which kshana anumana, anumiti takes place. The anumiti jnana, anumiti is, the anumana is pramana. Prama is anumiti. So how this anumiti is utpanna? Through anumana. For this anumana, you need vyapti also. It is vyapta ghatita anumana. So that vyapti ghatita anumana, for that vyapti is needed. For vyapti, smriti is needed. Oh, yatra yatra dhuma, tatra tatra vanni. How? Yatha pakashala, I might seen all. So there is a kala atyaya. Some time has passed from the time you have seen dhuma till you inferred agni, fire. You have seen smoke, pratyaksha, anubhava, and by the time you use all these steps and you came to this anumiti, that parvato vanniman, there some time has passed. Meaning what? Pratyaksha has preceded anumana. Pratyaksha is adhara. ashraya for anumana. Without pratyaksha, you cannot have anumana. You cannot have anumana. Now, in the same example, can you use this anumana and say, oh, I see smoke, right? Yatra yatra dhuma tatra tatra vanni, therefore parvato vanniman. I see parvata, I see dhuma there on parvata. So I see dhuma vishishta parvata. I see dhuma vishishta parvata, meaning I see both dhuma and parvata together, and the dhuma is on parvata itself, not somewhere else. There is a stream of smoke. Smoke is not elsewhere. There has to be, anavachinna rekha. Anavachinna rekha for dhuma. It is not because smoke may have come from somewhere else and it is flying like a cloud, right? And it is just on top of it incidentally. That is not the case. You should see that the smoke is coming from the mountain. So it is anavachinna rekha, dhuma. Now, can you make an anumana after all this and say, oh, therefore there is no smoke? Parvato vanniman is your anumiti really. Dhumavatvat. So you say the mountain has fire. Now can you say mountain has fire and now can you say, oh, therefore there is no dhuma? Can you say that therefore there is no smoke? So you start with saying that I see smoke, therefore mountain should have fire, therefore there is no smoke. Makes no sense because your entire inference that there is fire is based on there is smoke. How can your anumana take away pratyaksha? You cannot, pull the rug from, under your legs itself. Only under somebody else's legs you can pull. Somebody is standing, but you cannot pull the rug of where you are standing. You can't stand. So here Purva Pakshi says, Atra pratyakshena atmana karma kartrutva abhyupagame tatpada upajivina anumanena pratyaksha utsaranam ayuktam iti chodyam. He says this pratyakshena atmana karma kartrutva abhyupagame, because you have anubhava. What is the anubhava? Mam aham janami. So mam is karma, aham is karta there. Mam and aham are both asmat atma. So this atma anubhava as karta and karma is already there in mam aham janami. Now based on that anubhava, you are using some tarka, you the siddhanti, and then tatpada upajivina. Anuman in this. Anumana is upajivi. Upajivi is living on it, meaning ashrita. Taking support of the pratyaksha pramana, anubhava, mamaham janami, you use anumana and say, no, it is not that. It is similar to saying that using smoke, you have inferred fire and you say there is no smoke. Similarly here, kartru karmatva has been accepted in anubhava itself, pratyaksha pramana. I know myself. This is your anubhava, pratyaksha, karmatva, kartrutva, both are in atma alone. Now, tatpada upajivi is anumana. Meaning, tatpada means what? This pratyaksha pada. Part of that pratyaksha you are using for anumana. And then, upajivina anumanena, based on that anumana, pratyaksha utsaranam. You are removing the removal of pratyaksha. Removal of pratyaksha ayuktam is not proper. Using that, you build up your anumana and then see that pratyaksha itself is wrong. Then if the pratyaksha is wrong, your anumana is wrong. That is the idea. Okay, first idea. Second idea is what? Which is the mukhya tatparya. Pratyaksha, which is adhara for anumana, cannot be countered by that anumana. Meaning upajivi cannot counter upajivya. Ashrita cannot counter ashraya. The kala atyaya anumana cannot counter pratyaksha. Iti chodyam. Tan nirakaranaya pratyaksha upanyasa. So what is this pratyaksha also? Siddhanti will talk about it to remove to refute this doubt. So chodyam is what? There is a tippana. Aha ityasya chodyam iti anena anvayaha. So aha. So there is upanyasa atra. So atraha chodyam atraha. So, and tan nirakarana pratyaksha upanyasa, because upanyasa cannot have anvaya with aha. So all that is saying chodyam aha gives the purva paksha, and to remove that purva paksha, what is this purva paksha? That has already been given. Purva paksha is what? It is untenable that anumana takes away pratyaksha based on which it is built. Anumana is built on pratyaksha, so anumana cannot counter pratyaksha. Or same pratyaksha, some other pratyaksha you can counter, saying that it is ayathartha jnana. Brahma can be countered, but on that Brahma you cannot base your Anuvana and counter Brahma. On Pratyaksha, which is Yathartha Jnana, Dhuma is really seen, not you are not seeing mist. So you are seeing Dhuma, and based on that smoke, you have inferred fire, and that fire cannot now counter, there is no smoke. You cannot say that. Similarly, here, Anumana, which is based on Yathartha Jnana Pratyaksha Anubhava, Mamam Janami, cannot counter the Mamaham Janami as wrong, Kartrutva Karma Bhava as wrong. Atma is Karta as well as Karma. To refute this idea, Pratyaksha Upanyasa in the 25th verse, we'll look at in the next part. This is all this area is, this is what I was mentioning. We saw a lot of easy verses. We have, come quite far in the second chapter, but now suddenly you have to break, So now Ghat section, so you have to slow down. Tarka is, it's tricky. I mean, it's not very easy to see. If you have Tarka Samskara, it is easy. Otherwise, I would like to go slow here. Okay, so everyone gets the idea. Atraha, so we look at the Tika in the, not I noted. So, okay, I'll mark it later. Yes, Sakshat Satchidanandam Pratyekadvayam Akriyam Tannamami Nusya Yogi Gamyam Parampadam. Namaste, Dhanyavada.